All right, deep divers, welcome back. Today, we are diving right into a moment of protest that, well, kind of blew up in the headlines, didn't it? And it sparked, like, a huge debate about colonialism and representation, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this Lidia Thorpe protest against King Charles, it's definitely got people talking.
It really has.
And what's really interesting, I think, is how this whole incident, it just brings all these long simmering tensions to the surface, you know? It's not just about Thorpe herself, right? It's bigger than that. It's about what she represents, the whole historical context.
Okay, so for those of you who might not be completely up to speed, let's back up a bit. So we're talking about Lidia Thorpe, who I think it's fair to say is a bit of a controversial figure in Australian politics.
To say the least.
To say the least, right. Anyway, she was being escorted out of this event, right? King Charles was there. And as she's leaving, she shouts, "He is not my king. He is not of this land."
Powerful words.
Talk about making a statement, right? And it's clearly about colonialism, wouldn't you say?
100%. You hit the nail on the head when you said colonialism. That phrase, that "not my king" statement, it really gets to the heart of how many Indigenous Australians feel about the monarchy, even today.
And we should probably mention here, this wasn't even her only, how do I put this? Let's just say Thorpe was making her presence known that day. There were reports of, well, a bit of a scuffle with police earlier at a war memorial.
Right, right. And that's what makes this so fascinating. It's like she was determined to be heard that day, no matter what.
It almost seems that way, doesn't it? But, I mean, when we talk about this idea of a colonial legacy, what does that actually mean for people today? How does the monarchy's history, its past, how does that still affect Indigenous Australians now?
Well, colonial legacy refers to the lasting impact, you know, the effects of colonization that we still see today.
So, like, what are some examples of that?
Well, for starters, there's the whole issue of land. The British Crown claiming ownership of Australia, disregarding Indigenous sovereignty. I mean, that's a huge one. And it's something that continues to cause tension even now.
It makes you wonder, you know, how do you even begin to reconcile something like that? How do you come to terms with that kind of past while still, like, trying to live in the present, trying to move forward? Thorpe's protest, I mean, love it or hate it, it really brings that question to the forefront, don't you think?
Absolutely. Thorpe's methods, yeah, they might rub some people the wrong way.
Yeah.
But you can't deny that she's shining a light on a very real issue, and one that demands, I think, real attention, a genuine dialogue.
Because it's not an easy fix, is it?
No, not at all. It's complex. Think of it like this. Imagine you inherit a beautiful old house, right? But then you discover that the land it's built on, it was taken unjustly from another family.
Ooh, that's a powerful way to put it.
It really makes you think, right? How do you reconcile those two things? How can you acknowledge that past, the injustice, and still trying to build a future, a good future, in that house?
It's a lot to unpack, and it's something for all of us to think about, you know, whatever your stance on this might be. So, deep divers, we want to hear from you. What do you make of Thorpe's protest? Was it an effective way to raise awareness about these issues? Or did it just distract from the main event? What do you think?
Yeah, and beyond that even, how can we even begin to move forward? How do we create a future that respects historical grievances and acknowledges what happened while also respecting, you know, the many different perspectives within a society that's, let's be real, still struggling with this colonial past?
There are no easy answers here.
Definitely not. But these are exactly the kinds of questions we need to be asking.
Absolutely. Until next time, deep divers, keep asking those tough questions and keep on seeking that deeper understanding. We'll see you next time.